Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and I'm so excited to be here today as part of a hop. This is for Altenew and Hutson, and they've designed this set in the United We Flourish series, and it's called Poppy Fields, and it's a layering poppy stamp. It's beautiful, and it comes with matching dies, so that's pretty awesome too. I decided that I wanted to have like a watercolor look with poppies, and they always look beautiful when they're watercolored, and I didn't want to do red. I mean, I did want to do red, of course. I wanted to do red because every time I think of a poppy, I think of a red poppy, but I purposefully stayed away from that. So I chose 3 colors, and I decided to use my distress inks to achieve a kind of a watercolor look. And I'm working on a piece of Bristol cardstock. It's bigger than what I need. It's bigger than my card front because I wasn't really sure how I was going to cut it down yet. And the 3 colours I've chosen in the distress inks are the carved pumpkin, the wilted violet, and the peacock feathers. And what I'm doing is I'm using the solid image stamp. There's 2 different flowers in this set, and I'm adding the ink directly to the because we all know distress inks aren't the best for stamping, especially with photopolymer stamps, but they can give you this fabulous look if you add ink and then spray water before you stamp it down. And it's like you've been watercoloring, and even if you don't know how, it still works out perfect. The hardest thing for me is waiting for it to dry. Like, this drives me insane. I think I actually did hit this with my heat tool right near the end. I just couldn't wait any longer. So I decided that I wanted kind of a bold artistic look with these flowers, and I'm using it's like the shadow layer of the stamp, and I've actually popped it into my Misty because this is watercolor cardstock. Well, it's not, it's quite a smooth cardstock, but I wanted these images to be bold, and the best way to do that is to stamp a few times. And I know if I use my Misty, they're going to be in exactly the same spot, and I can get that real bold look that I'm going for. So some of these images I stamped a couple of times, some of them I stamped 3 times. It just depended on how well they stamped initially. And I am using the permanent black ink from Altenew, which is a really nice kind of bold black colour. Now, because this is a hop, obviously there's going to be prizes to be won, so I'll put the links in my YouTube description below that'll head to my blog. And if you're here in September 2017, then check it out and you'll have a chance to win. Alright, so I've just about finished stamping out my last flower now, which is the larger flower. And I decided I did want to use the stem image, and what I've done here is actually mask off some of the flower so that it looks like the stem is running beneath the flower. I didn't want to just stamp over top, and I've also angled the stem on the way that I want it to look for the flower, and that's a good thing about the Misty or a clear stamp, or even you can even do this on the stamp block if that's what you had. Then you can actually move the stem to the sort of shape that you want. I did actually come in with my Copic multi-liner. I couldn't be bothered stamping for like 3mm, so I just used my multi-liner to do that, and to fix up any little gaps where my imperfect post-it notes might have been too. This is a clean and simple card, so when I was spraying my images, because I was trying to, no it wasn't, it was just because I was lazy and didn't move myself away from the card far enough, I did get some splatters on my card front, so I just used the sand eraser, and that just removes any of those little small images of ink or dots of ink. You just have to wait for them to dry, you can't do it while they're wet. My sentiment today comes from the More Than Words stamp set, and this has really beautiful fonts in it, and I decided to white heat emboss this on some Lagoon cardstock. So it has got some real fine words or font in it, and this, even though I pressed pretty hard on my stamp, which I know I shouldn't have, the embossing worked really well. I was pretty impressed. This powder, embossing powder, is beautiful. Now all that's left to do is to put my card together. I've used my tape runner on my top fold card front and just attaching my panel, and then I can pop up my sentiment. Now I looked at this for a little while and I wasn't really happy with the balance that I had. I tried a few sequins and droplets and things on the front and it just wasn't doing it for me. I still wanted it to be kind of artsy and bold, and the sequins weren't fitting for me. So what I did, I know it's sacrilege, sequins fit on everything. What I thought I'd do is actually come back in and add another flower just on the very edge to create a better balance to my eye, and that seemed to work really well. So head on over to the other blogs and see what's being created. There's some amazing cards and there's also some scrapbook layouts to check out. So look forward to seeing you there. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.